Hello everyone! Hello Doc Beatriz. We are now here at Baruya Elementary School in Lubao, Pampanga. And we're honored to have the opportunity to interview Dr. Marina Gamizo.
We're looking forward to learning from her insights and sharing this conversation with all of you. So, good day po, Ma'am Ryan. So, I'm Mercy Amor Garan.
Hi, I'm Casey din po naman po.
So, currently po, we are pursuing our master's degree in educational management at Pampanga State University. And as part of our subject on curriculum development, we are conducting interviews with school leaders po like you to gain deeper insights into their experiences, challenges, and leadership practices. So we truly appreciate for your time and willingness po to share your perspective today. So this interview will help enrich our understanding of effective school leadership and contribute meaningfully to our academic work. First question po. Do you think the new curriculum better addresses students' foundational skills and life readiness?
Well, actually, our curriculum is comprehensive, and if it will be implemented properly, it is a very good curriculum. Unfortunately, there are a lot of factors that may hinder the implementation of this curriculum kasi number one is the resources. We have a lot of resources, but most of them, they are not quite aligned in the implementation of the curriculum. But the curriculum per se is very comprehensive and learner-centered. If you're going to browse it under the DepEd order, you will find out that the curriculum is more on learner-centered, and there's no way that learners will not learn if it will be implemented properly. As what I've said, resources is quite hindering factors in the implementation of such curriculum. But, you know, in the long run, as we have the new secretary and the former secretary, they do, and even the President of the Philippines, they do a lot of work in the implementation and siguro proper implementation of that curriculum. Kasi hindi naman perfect lahat ng bagay. There's a lot of factors considering not only the implementation na galing sa taas, but definitely the monitoring and the evaluation of what is implemented downline. Kasi hindi naman lahat monitor ng maayos, and there's no proper monitoring. Say, for example, na-implement yung program ngayon. The next year, pag napalitan, there's no continuity that's the problem. Pero kung magkakaroon lang tayo ng continuity, magagaling ang mga teachers natin, magagaling ang mga ang mga implementers natin. Kaya lang, there's no continuity of the plan. But considering all the factors, we can do it as Filipinos. Kaya lang, yun nga lang siguro, it takes a lot of time, collaboration, and cooperation to each and everyone.
How do you ensure that the curriculum design remains responsive to the diverse needs of students, especially in an inclusive or multicultural classroom setting?
Well, actually, like in our school, we have this SNED, or what we call the multi-diverse learners, mga special needs learners, and we cater them. And what we find out, nasa implementation talaga. nasa baba talaga. Nung una, medyo hirap. Hirap kami kasi iba kapag merong learners na kasama sa regular. But later on, proper implementation, proper monitoring, we can cater everybody. As you can see, meron tayong EFA or the Education for All. So we can cater everybody. It depends upon the implementation. Likewise, with the help of our community, the teachers, the community, the school heads, and even our parents, malaking factor sila in the implementation and ensuring such curriculum be implemented to different kinds of learners. Probably collaboration is very important and cooperation as well. And lastly siguro yung transparency. Kasi kung di mo makukuha yung mga data ng mga learners mo, hindi mo sila makikilala ng gusto. But once na nakilala mo sila, you will find out where you will start. Kasi dun sila kilala mo na sila, alam mo na kung na-diagnose mo na sila, kung hanggang saan sila, or kung saan ka mag-start, that will be the time that you will focus on that. And as I've said, yung monitoring kasi napaka-important. Kami as school leaders, hands-on siguro. And you can attest to that. Kasi kapag hands-on yung leader, definitely mai-implement any kind of curriculum. Anyone can be a good and resilient to implement the curriculum to any diverse learners that we have.
What major adjustments have been made in your school or district with the implementation of the Matatag curriculum, especially in terms of foundational literacy and GS?
Well, actually kasi, in our school in particular kasi, ever since our target is everybody readers talaga, that's our target. So when the first implementation of this K-12 curriculum, wherein it focused, the Matatag curriculum rather, the Matatag curriculum which is focused in the literacy and numeracy, parang hindi na kami nanibago. Yun nga lang, we adapt certain strategies that was crafted in the Matatag curriculum. And yung mga trainings ng mga teachers, nakafocus lahat doon. But in reality, ang hirap kasing i-address yung gap. That's the reality. Yung pandemic, malaking effect kasi yun. So yung pagpasok ng mga bata, we're not just curing the literacy and numeracy, but definitely, alam niyo kung ano the values of the students. That's why when Matatag curriculum, na-streamline yan na-streamline siya. So nung na-implement siya, parang it's an additional sa amin, additional information and additional knowledge sa amin on how to eliminate, if not totally eradicate, at least lessen the numeracy and literacy. Pero in reality kasi ang hirap niyan. Yan siguro yung mahirap i-implement kasi yung first implementation namin since this is my third year in Baruya. Yung implementation namin nung una, talagang medyo mahirap kasi nandiyan yung nag-aaway kayo kasi hindi namin alam what would be the focus. But when the Matatag curriculum fully implemented, doon namin nakita, eto pala ang dapat gawin. Kasi di ba everybody naman nagkakaroon ng learning. And yearly, makikita mo yung mga lapses ng mga decisions mo. Kung hindi naging successful, the next year magiging successful. And hopefully, this school year, konting-konti na lang.
Next question. How do you foster collaboration among teachers and departments to ensure a cohesive implementation of Matatag curriculum?
Well, the implementation of Matatag curriculum, not only for the school heads, but also to all, to everybody. In collaboration, we have a lot of programs. No? We have the parents, teachers, collaboration with the aid of our program, the Project Think. The Project Thinks, it's a collaboration between parents and students. So yung mga primary grades namin, yung mga slow readers namin, pinapatawag yung mga magulang, and then with the help of the teachers, tinitingnan nila, meron silang time every Friday na may allotted time yung mga students and the parents na tuturuan yung mga ano nila. And likewise, the SGLG, now we have time for them to help the struggling readers. And not only that, even inside the classroom, meron kaming, wala na yung dati, wala na yung big brother, big sister, ngayon hindi na. Kung meron na isa o dalawa, ang gagawin ni teacher, ipo-pull out na yun, the pull out, and then mag-e-extend siya ng limited time or extended time para sa mga bata. Doon niya makikita kung hanggang saan na yung natututunan niya. Aside from spelling, we have everyday spelling, 10 words a day, no? Those approaches, yes, matagal na sila, but we consider them as as effective strategies.
How do you ensure that your school's curriculum aligns with the DepEd's standards and goals?
Actually, since time immemorial naman, nagkakaroon tayo ng localization and textualization. In the implementation of these goals of our department, it's a domino effect. A domino effect. Bakit? Kasi kung ano yung sinabi ng nasa taas, dapat makikita mo yung effect mo pagdating sa school. And hindi naman natin, though the goals is the target, pero how are you going to achieve that goal? So, nasa kamay na ng nasa baba kung paano niya ma-achieve yun using the different resources that coming from our department. Meron naman silang binibigay na resources. So, paano mo yun ma-align at the context of your school? Kasi iba-iba naman, no? Like sa amin, lumulubog. Dito, nagkakaroon ng high tide. So, anong ginagawa namin? Siyempre, we need to implement the curriculum. So, nakipag-collaborate kami sa community and including parents. Nagbigay kami ng mga letter if okay lang ba sa kanila na in spite of the high tide, papasok yung mga anak nila just to ensure the delivery of the quality education that we have.
How about the support that you give to teachers who want to use hands-on activities like projects and experiments?
Yung mga yung support namin dito sa mga teacher. Actually, yung mga trainings nila, if they want to go to have this or to capacitate themselves, okay naman sa akin. If may budget, bigyan ng budget. Yeah. Kasi kung yun ang tulong mo sa mga teacher para ma-update nila yung mga knowledge nila. Kasi sila yung nagtuturo. No? So, aside from that, you support them. You encourage them. Encourage ba? You encourage them. And you know what? It's important. Kung may item, may ranking, you support them all the way. All the way. Ipaglaban mo yung mga teachers. Pag nasupportahan mo sila, like, nabigay mo naman, may moment naman. Kung hanggang saan yung mo, ibibigay mo. Kung meron kami mga Xerox machine every Eh, hindi man every classroom kasi hindi ko pa hindi pa kakayanin. Pero every building, meron naman kami.
Next question po. If you were to speak directly with a curriculum specialist, what suggestion would you give to improve the curriculum?
Naalala ko nung nag-aaral, curriculum development. Tinanong na rin sa amin yan eh. Actually, I just hope na bumabasa. They need to see what's going on sa baba, sa field mismo. Kasi yung mga experts natin sa curriculum, ewan ko kung nagbago na ba. They came from private school, right? Sa mga universities like LaSalle. Iba yung scenario sa public school. Iba sa private school. Since I came from exclusive schools too. Nung nagtuturo ako sa isang school, sa isang exclusive school. Siyempre, well-off yung mga estudyante namin. Well-off yung mga namin. Yung mga facilities namin. Sa public, hindi. You know what? Ano yung nakakalungkot minsan in public? Hindi nila alam kung ano talaga yung nangyayari. So, given the chance, siguro yung isasuggest ko for them to come up into a most effective curriculum. Bumaba muna sila. I still remember na suggest ko noon during our class dyan sa curriculum development. Sabi ko, sana yung kunin nilang curriculum development. Yung educator coming from public school. Kasi para alam niya ano ba yung scenario in public school. Pero, ang nakikita ko naman, nag-i-improve naman si department.
For our last question po, how do you involve stakeholders like parents, LGUs, or industry partners in curriculum building?
Well, actually, involved naman sila since time immemorial. Kaya pagdating sa curriculum kasi we just need to involve them in the implementation. Kasi the curriculum is nandiyan na. So how we will going to implement it? Doon papasok yung mga stakeholders, the LGU. In what way? Simply, you need their assistance in the implementation, like yung pagpo-provide ng mga resources, like bond paper, kung kailangan, wala kami, nagkulang kami, siguro they can help us. And then, kung kailangan ng tour ng mga bata within the community, you can tap the assistance of our LGU para naman matulungan kami. Kasi minsan kailangan yun kahit school tour lang or community tour lang, kailangan ni bata para ma-divert yung attention niya. Ay, hindi lang pala lagi itulong at natin. More so, you collaborate with them. You ask us, you involve them in the decision making. Kasi pag hindi mo sila na-involve sa decision making, mahihirapan ka. Kasi yung responsibility, lahat ba sa leader, hindi pwede yun. Dapat kasama sila. Kasi magiging effective ang implementation ng isang bagay or any curriculum kapag kasama mo mga stakeholders na ipaliwanag mo sa kanila kung ano yung mas maganda. Minsan kasi meron silang mga suggestions na parang maganda. And you can come up to a good suggestions or to a good decision kapag marami yung mga nagsasuggest.
Thank you so much po, Doc, for sharing your expertise and your leadership techniques that we can use in the near future. And thank you for making time to be with us today.